serious moments in this venue. I had my first nervous breakdown in this venue. I was stood on this stage behind the curtain. I was 19 years old, I was crying on the phone to my mum. I don't think I can do this. She was like, shut up, you little cunt, get out there and do it. I love this fucking venue.
If you were an indie kid, then you went to the Leadmill. There's nowhere else to go.
For a band from Sheffield to play at the Leadmill it's a kind of a big deal.
The Leadmill in particular had a kind of mission to give young people something to do.
There's not many live music venues that have been running 36 years.
So it originally opened as an arts centre that was going to take touring, that was going to have a platform for different kinds of music.
The people it's supposed to be geared for, I always thought, were people like the unemployed, people who can't get that sort of entertainment anywhere else.
The effects of Margaret Thatcher's kind of economic policy was absolutely tearing Sheffield apart, frankly.
We were very much into the sort of anti-racist stuff. There was a lot of right-wing shit going around at that time. National Front were having their heyday, and we spent a lot of our energy went into sort of challenging that, really.
It was vital to produce a centre like the Leadmill. We wanted to create real jobs, to provide educational facilities, to provide a centre for the ethnic minorities.
I thought they'd be more like Indian or more reggae down here, because other venues don't really do very much.
Well, I guess I got frustrated, a little bit bored with the bands that I was watching. I met a lady called Bronwyn Stone and got chatting to her in a pub one day, and she said that she'd had some drumming lessons, and I said, well, would you like to be in my band then?
I think playing a gig at the Leadmill was probably an ambition.
Yes.
And I could see that joining your band would be a good way to get that.
Which was an imaginary band at that point in time. And then about 2 weeks later we had our first rehearsal.
I mean, we were called Blammo. Our first band name was Blammo, and then we were called Speedy.
So Speed and Blammo were kind of like sort of self-deprecating, very, very, very funny, very visual, and very, very energetic and lively. There was a real electricity about them. It really felt like you were in the beginning of something.
We do have our first poster, the poster from our first gig at the Leadmill, and we bottom of the bill.
One job that I didn't accept was that someone down there once offered me money to knock somebody out, which I turned down.
Who was it?
I'm not saying.
Was it Phil?
I'm not saying.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't.
We're doing a tour, and the Leadmill was the last gig on our tour, and it felt like a real homecoming, and that we'd made it, and you know it was sold out.
There's a lot of history in that on that stage, and that you were finally on it.
And I'll never forget that.
I actually thought that Blammo would break, and I was really, really surprised they didn't.
if you look in the history of it, there's probably a period in the late 90s, early noughties, where it's very disco-orientated.
The Leadmill promoted, I think it was called The Steamer, with Graham Parker's DJ on Friday nights. And that was ahead of its time because, you know, people were thinking, the Leadmill, why is the Leadmill doing dance music?
They looked at the club nights as the vehicle that took most money for them, and then treated the gigs almost as sort of something on the top. It had always been the other way around before. The arts, the music, the live music, that had created the vibe of the Leadmill and the buzz of the Leadmill.
And you'd turn up to work and you'd realise there was a queue around the block.
I house managed a few times and I didn't like it at all. It wasn't a pleasant experience.
Staff were turning up and were scared. Security was saying, oh, you know, we've just spotted somebody with a knife or even a gun at times.
There was a real tension between those who saw the Leadmill as a live music venue and those who saw the opportunity to make a lot of money.
And we had to stop the night simply because it felt too dangerous.
It was rammed, and then it all came with a drug culture that brought with it its own problems.
When that happened, a lot of people left.
I remember seeing Manson play there, and the support band were Travis. It was Coldplay being supported by Muse, and top of the bill, Arctic Monkeys. By the time of their second album, they were massive, and they could have had their second album party or second album gig in Sheffield at the Arena, but they chose to have it at the Leadmill, and there was almost as many people outside the venue wanting to get in than there were actually in the venue. And I had one ticket. I've never seen a show where people wanted tickets so much. I had people trying to buy me a ticket for 200 quid. No way.
You know, we didn't want to be this kind of, you know, bunch of middle-aged people reforming and living past glories, but of course we did.
This is the very last song that Speedy will ever play live.
There was a bit of chatter going around saying that they'd been in town doing the shopping and they'd heard Speedy rehearsing.
It was something that came out of the blue, so somebody got in touch with us and said, you know, we can't believe the album's never been released, can we release it? And then kind of by degrees, the record company said, well, would you mind reforming to do a show?
And never see each other again after that.
There was only one place to do it really, and that was the Leadmill. We needed to get together to make sure that we weren't going to embarrass ourselves.
But, you know, there was everybody from people wearing Speedy t-shirts and Blamo t-shirts to people who'd just heard of us and who were interested and came along. This was actually one of the best gigs we ever did at the Leadmill.
It was good, it was really good. I'd do it again.
There are some venues where the planets do sort of align and they sort of hit upon a formula that seems to really work. And I think the Leadmill's evidently done that.
If I look at my gig list that I've seen there, it's like a who's who of alternative music.
Bands want to play the Leadmill and bands play up to that. It's a piece of alternative music history.
I can remember an atmosphere, a mood.
Even if you're playing support and you're on at 8:30 to 7 people and a dog, it still feels pretty special.
Well, I don't know what it is about it, but it's just got the most amazing feeling.
A good, solid northern venue with a good PA. It's for people who are passionate about music,